Hey, it's Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and welcome to the Black Belt Leadership Podcast, where each week I'm giving you tips, tools, insights, and resources to help you become a better version of who you are and what you do as you discover, develop, and deploy your own Black Belt leader within. Hey, can you believe we are already in 2025? You know, we say goodbye to more in 2024, and we say hello to come alive in 2025. I want to help your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions come alive in 2025. And in today's podcast, I want to talk about a new start to the new year. In the time we're going to be together, I want to share some practical insights to not only help you get started, but also to stay the course and finish well by the time we get to 2026. So let's jump right in and let's get started. Now, I know we're a day or two into the new year by the time you get a chance to hear this podcast, but let me wish you a happy new year. You know, looking back, it's hard for me to believe that it seems like 2024 was just a few days ago, and we're now into a brand new year. And that also tells me right now that even though we may be early into 2025, before we know it, we're going to be saying hello to 2026. Now, a lot of people, not only here in the United States, but around the world, use New Year's as a time to make those dreaded New Year's resolution, an opportunity to become a better version of who you are and what you do. That's what Black Belt leaders do. Daily, they choose to focus on becoming a better version of who they are and what they do. So what does that look like for you? Well, maybe you want to get in shape. Maybe you want to lose a few pounds. Maybe you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you want to try something new. Whatever it is, everybody starts off with the best of intentions, but along the way, the vast majority of people, roughly 95% of them, are going to get distracted. They're going to miss a few days at the gym. They're going to struggle to stop eating sweets. They're going to start trying to learn a new skill, and then when they get frustrated, they're going to give up. They quit before they ever truly, really get started. Well, I'm here to tell you, if that's been you in the past, this year, it doesn't have to be that way. You can say to yourself, not this year. This year is going to be different. This is the year I'm going to achieve my goals, my dreams, and my ambitions. Talking to yourself in a positive way about the goals, the dreams, and ambitions that you want to become is step one to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And no matter what your goals are for this year, whether it's losing some weight or gaining some weight or going on a trip or starting a new business, whatever it is, the most important thing is for you to have a clear and realistic view of whatever it is you want to achieve. And you got to understand this. If it is a big, hairy, audacious goal that you're wanting to accomplish, that's not going to happen overnight. So you've got to be willing to, number one, have the motivation, and number two, have the persistence to keep moving forward, even when moving forward seems like a challenge. So one of the ways that you can do that is by setting your intention by the thoughts that you think and the words that you speak. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do in 2025 is to create some affirmation statements. Now, what is an affirmation statement? Some people call them mantras, but I like these positive affirmation statements. They're positive phrases that you say to yourself related to your desired outcome. Let me give you some examples. I am strong. I am capable. I am enough. I am getting better every single day. I am confident. I am secure. I am bold. I am getting my weight under control. I am going to the gym today. I am making good choices that lead to good outcomes. My life is abundant. Those statements and statements like that, repeated daily, have a powerful impact on our brain. It actually begins to reprogram our subconscious thinking so that it focuses on what we want to accomplish, and we're setting our intention that this is our desired outcome. And the more we say those things to ourselves, what we say we do, and what we do, we accomplish. Now, this year, I also want to encourage you to do one thing, and that is stop pointing the finger at everybody else if you don't achieve your goals, your dreams, and your objectives. You and you alone are responsible for your success. I want to encourage you to take responsibility for the path you choose to walk. If you're going to walk the pathway of success, fantastic. If you choose to walk another path, guess what? You chose the path. You and you alone are responsible for your success or the lack thereof. Remember, and I say it often, and it's in my books, it's in my podcast, the one thing you can control is your thoughts. Our thoughts shape our beliefs. Our beliefs shape our choices. And the choices that we repeat over and over again become the habits that either lead us to success or the lack thereof. Our habits are going to determine whether or not we're going to achieve our goals, our dreams, and our objectives. And it starts with our thoughts. So when you learn to control your thinking, you begin to learn to control your saying, your doing, and your becoming. So creating a better outcome starts with altering your thought life, thinking thoughts that shape your beliefs and influence your choices for the better. You know, I love this quote by Marianne Williamson, and it is probably one of the best quotes that I could think of to add at this time of year. Here's what she says: our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. Now, I want you to think about what she's saying in that powerful quote. Our deepest fear is that we are bigger and better than we truly believe we are. And it is our potential, our light, not our darkness, our limits. It is our potential that most frightens us. But I love that next statement. Our playing small doesn't serve the world. Well, I can tell you that in my own life, nothing changed until I realized this one thing. Nobody is going to do it for me. Whatever that it is, I have to do it. I have to take responsibility. And until I'm willing to take responsibility and I'm willing to play big and not small, I'm not going to serve the world at the highest level. So let me say this before we move on. You have every right to be proud of yourself. You've got every right to strive to become the happiest and most fulfilled version of you that you can become. You have every right to be proud of the person you are and the person that you're becoming. No matter where you are right now, no matter what happened in the past, or no matter what your present circumstances, your playing small doesn't serve the world. Your deepest fear is that you are bigger and capable of saying, doing, and becoming more than you are right now. So understand that's what's holding you back. So one of the best strategies that I've found to stop playing small is to have the self-discipline to find a buddy, to find an accountability partner that I can bring alongside to talk about my progress and to encourage me to keep moving forward. Now, this is a person that's not going to judge me, is not going to hinder me, not going to influence my progress other than to be there as a sounding board for me to share, this is where I'm at, these are my struggles, these are my challenges, and that individual can be your cheerleader to encourage you. But here's what I'm here to tell you. When you share your plans and you say it out loud, you're turning a wish into reality. And you're bringing something into existence that up until that point only existed in your thoughts. The simple act of telling someone about your goals can encourage you to continue at times when you feel likely or tempted to quit, knowing that that individual is going to help hold you accountable to your success. Now, let me also remind you that in life, there are no quick fixes. You know, to me, a quick fix is like putting a piece of duct tape over the check engine light as you keep driving down the road with your fingers crossed, hoping nothing happens. A quick fix is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. And when you go with a quick fix, it doesn't necessarily work well. Let me give you an example. A diet is a quick fix. Why? We go on a diet to lose a few pounds, and then once we've lost a few pounds, we go off the diet. It is a lifestyle change that is required to create a better life for you. Let me say that again. It is a lifestyle change that is required to create a better life for you. The only way you and I are going to be successful long term and have the opportunity to rise to our full potential is to challenge the status quo, to change things for the better. You know, it's far too easy to go back to what's familiar, but remember this: if nothing changes, then nothing changes for you. One more time. If nothing changes, nothing changes for you. So let's start off 2025 by getting clear on our big goals and objectives for the year. So let me give you 3 questions that you can use right now to help you get very, very clear and concise on your big goal, your objective, or your big idea for 2025. Grab a pen and a piece of paper or flip your notepad open in your phone and write these 3 questions down real quick. Question number 1, what is your big goal? What's that big goal, that dream, that idea, that objective? What is your one thing for 2025? If you could only do one thing and be successful at it, what is your one thing? What is your big goal for 2025? Question number 2 is the motivation behind it. What's your why? Why is this big goal important to you? And then question number 3, when do you want to achieve it? You've got to identify your goal, you've got to identify why it's important, and you've got to give yourself a time frame to complete that goal to really be clear on your big goal or objective. Let me give you those questions one more time. What is your big goal for the year? Number 2, why is it important? And number 3, when do you want to achieve it? And now that you've looked at those big 3 questions for the big goal of the year, now you've got to identify what resources are available to take you from where you are to where you want to be in achieving that goal, that dream, or that objective. So let me give you 3 questions to ask now that you've done the first 3 in terms of identifying and getting clear on the goal. Now, how do we accomplish it? Here are 3 things that you need to ask yourself. Number 1, what do you need in terms of resources to accomplish your goal? What resources do you need? That's question 1. Number 2, is this something you can do alone, or do you need the help of others? Again, can you do it by yourself, or you need other people to help you? Question 2. Number 3, how do you break this big goal down into many goals so that you can keep making progress? Again, how do you take this big goal that may be a year to complete, and how do you break it down into monthly, quarterly, weekly, daily goals that can help you get from where you are to where you want to be? You know, Dale Carnegie once said, people rarely succeed unless they're having fun doing what they're doing. I like that, and I agree with it because I get more things done when I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. And I understand that if it is a big goal I've got to accomplish, it's going to require me to engage in some hard work. That means if I can make it fun, the hard work isn't as hard as maybe I think it is. You know, it's easy to start well, but then we get frustrated, and what happens? When we get frustrated, we start making excuses and we ultimately quit. Maybe you get started, maybe you get bored, or maybe you don't see immediate results, and then you start telling yourself, oh, what's the use? And you quit trying. You just reprogrammed your brain for failure and not success. So one of the things I do is I gamify what I'm doing to make it interesting. I mix things up so that I've got an opportunity to have fun doing things in a little different way. And why do I do that? You can only do so much of any one thing before it becomes boring or monotonous. How many salads can you eat before eating salad gets boring? How many walks around the neighborhood can you take before walking around the neighborhood gets boring? But when you mix it up or you make a game of it, it can be much more fun. What I like to do is to compete with myself. Let's say, for example, I'm doing push-ups. If I can do one more push-up than I did the day before, I just beat my personal best. Who can't do one more push-up or one more setup or make another step down the street or another flight of stairs or take one less bite of food than I did the day before? Making a game to compete with myself or having an opportunity to do something to make it fun makes it easier to get through the hard work necessary to achieve the results that you and I want to achieve. And isn't that the point anyway? To enjoy every step and not just endure the hard steps. So you need to think through, what can you do to mix it up so that your journey stays interesting? Another thing you can do is map out your journey. Make a list of where you want to go, where you are right now, the steps in the process to get you from where you are to where you want to be. This can be a huge positive to achieve any goal or any objective. You know, the first 2 to 3 weeks of a new year, you go visit the gym, you go to Planet Fitness or any of the local gyms, they're going to be full. But after the first 2 to 3 weeks, the gym's empty. Why? In the first 2 to 3 weeks, everybody's motivated. Everybody wants to learn, to grow, to improve, to change, to get more physically fit, to start losing weight, whatever it is. And then after 2 to 3 weeks, the hard work of altering who we are starts to take place. The muscles are a little sore, the stomach's a little hungry. If we're trying to quit caffeine or smoking or something along those lines, we've got the headaches going on. So here's what we do. We set our intention at the first of each week and at the beginning of each day. We map out for the week what we want to accomplish. And then each day when we get up, we map out 3 things that we want to accomplish. We do those 3 things, then we map out 3 more. And we work in these groups of 3, getting more things done in less time to have an opportunity to map out what success looks like for you and I every single day. Now, I also want to take a minute and I want to debunk the 21-day myth, because many people have told me growing up, John, it takes 21 days to make a habit. Well, several studies have shown that it takes a whole lot longer than 21 days to change or create a habit. In fact, it shows that you need 3 consecutive 21-day stints to really begin to hone a change or create a habit. So it's not 21 days, it's 63 days if you do the math. Now, these same studies that show it takes longer than 21 days also show that week 3 in the journey is when things start to get a little bit rough. Our initial enthusiasm has started to wane. Now we're having to move from being motivated to simply persisting until we succeed. 21 days can get you going, but you've got to repeat that 21-day process a minimum of 3 times in a row to lock in a new habit. 63 days in total, 3 sets of 21. So this is where micro goals, as I was talking about a few minutes ago, can be beneficial. And let me give you a real life example from a friend of mine who is a martial artist that had gained a lot of weight. My friend Bobby was well over 300 pounds. His goal was to lose 100 pounds over a 12-month period. Now, if after 2 weeks, Bobby lost only 1 or 2 pounds, he might be disappointed in his progress. 100 pounds is a lot of weight to lose over 12 months. But it wasn't to Bobby. Why? Because he took his big goal and he broke it down into micro goals. So Bobby said 100 pounds in 12 months breaks down to 8 1/3 pounds a month he needed to lose. Now, 8 pounds a month still sounds like a lot of weight. However, Bobby broke it down even further. He said, John, 100 pounds in 52 weeks works out to a weekly weight loss goal of 1.92 pounds. That's less than 2 pounds a week that Bobby had to lose. And he said, John, if you break it down even further, 100 pounds of weight loss over 365 days equals 1/4 of 1 pound a day in weight loss. Now, I love Bobby's attitude. He had gotten to the point at over 300 pounds, he was having to wear an insulin pump and was struggling just to get by from all of the stress and strain on his joints from the excess weight that he was carrying. So here's the good news. Last year, my friend Bobby lost over 120 pounds in less than 12 months. He came off the insulin pump. He's no longer a diabetic, and he's living his best life now. Why? because he understood it takes more than 21 days to change a habit or to create a habit. And he understood that when you break those big goals down, those micro goals keep you motivated. And every week Bobby lost 1.92 pounds or more was another opportunity to celebrate, because what gets rewarded gets repeated every single day. But you got to remember, the biggest obstacle to your success, to becoming the best version of who you are and what you do, stares you back in the mirror every single morning when you wake up. The person you look at when you gaze into the mirror is the one individual who can self-sabotage your success. That self-saboteur is you. So the most important person that you and I have to hold accountable every single day of our lives is ourselves. We've got to be honest with ourselves about the progress we're making, and we got to be honest with ourselves when we're not making progress. Now, as I said earlier, having an accountability buddy can help, but you can't do the work of transformation without you being involved in the process. Mastering your life is a hands-on job. It requires your hands to do the job. That accountability buddy can be there to encourage and to uplift and to hold you accountable, but they can't do the work of transformation for you. You got to be honest with yourself about where you're headed, why you're going there, and what's in store for you if you win, and also what's in store if you don't. Now, let me also encourage you not just to share with an accountability buddy what you're doing, but I want to encourage you to write things down. Write down your goals and put them somewhere you can see them. I love to put them on a sticky note and put them on the bathroom mirror or put them on the screen of my computer so that I have to see them. But writing things down is one of the best ways that you can ensure accountability for your thoughts, your goals, and your actions. I love to encourage people to keep a journal, because a journal allows you to keep track of your progress, and it's an opportunity to celebrate and write down the micro wins you experience along the way. Now, there's several good reasons to keep a journal. Let me give you three real quickly. A journal can clarify an idea or a dream or an intention, and it can make it more achievable. A journal can also help with motivation, as you have an opportunity to read and go back and see, this is where I started, this is where I am. Man, I've made more steps in progress than I thought I had. That's a great motivator to keep you moving forward. And it can help with recognizing emotions and thought patterns. And as you're writing down the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's going on in your thinking and the world you're living in right now, you can begin to recognize emotions and thoughts that may take you in a negative direction that can cause you to sabotage your success, and to catch yourself and to make the alterations necessary so that you keep moving forward. And you got to remember, you're not going to be successful 100% of the time. There are going to be times in any fight you're going to get knocked down. There's going to be times when you and I are going to mess up. Maybe you miss a workout. Maybe you eat one too many cookies. Maybe you fail to get enough sleep for a day or two. Maybe you miss the mark in some way. It's okay. You got to remember, 3 steps forward and then 2 steps back is still 1 step forward. You know, there's going to be times when you and I get our feet knocked out from underneath us, or somebody jerks the rug out from under us. The good news and the bad news is you and I get to choose whether we're going to get up and get going again, or we're simply going to lay there and let the referee count us out of the fight. The road to success for you and I is going to have some potholes. It's going to have some detours. It's going to have some roadblocks. I've talked about that in prior versions of the podcast. But if we stay the course and we revise the plans that we have, we can ultimately get to our goal and our destiny and our desired outcomes, but only if we get up when we get knocked down and keep moving forward. I love Lao Tzu's famous quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Every step you and I take gets us closer to our goals. Successful people, black belt leaders in life, own their mistakes. They learn from their mistakes and they choose not to repeat them in the future. You know, my mom's old adage was, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Every challenge, every obstacle you and I face gives us an opportunity to become a better version of who we are and what we do. Now, sometimes you need a driving motivator to keep you moving forward, and music can be a great motivator. You know, take a look at Olympic athletes, take a look at professional athletes as they're getting their mindset ready to go compete. Oftentimes, you see them with headphones on listening to their favorite music. I spend a lot of time in gym with MMA fighters and martial artists getting ready to compete, and I've done that over the years. And when I'm there, those artists have music playing to pump them up, to get them excited, and get them ready to go out and compete at the highest level. They listen to specific types of music before they step onto the stage to perform. Music has the power to move you to action. And music also has the power to calm you when you're stressed and pick you up when you're down. So if you don't have a motivational playlist that you can use to get you ready to perform, that you can use to calm you when you're stressed, and that you can use to pick you up when you're down, let me encourage you to go build those playlists so that when you need to feel the music, you've got the opportunity to do so, and then you can take the next step in your journey. Now, it's also important that you clear out the clutter in your life if you want to see success in 2025. A number of studies have shown that our bodies and our minds function best when our environment is clean and clutter-free. Studies show that when you enter a room that's clean, neat, and tidy, your stress levels drop. You can see and think more clearly, and you can perform at a higher level. Now, cleaning the clutter not only means our physical environment, it also means that you've got to eat healthy. After all, you are what you eat. And if you're cluttering your body with a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugary drinks, and loads of caffeine, you're not giving your body what it needs for peak efficiency. And it's also important that you stay hydrated throughout the day because 70 to 80% of our bodies are water. So give your body and your mind the right fuel, and guess what? It's going to perform like a well-oiled machine. Now, one more thing on clutter before I move on. Clearing the clutter also means getting good rest. The brain grows through a decluttering process every night when we go to sleep. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep, your brain can't go through and clear the cobwebs so that it can perform at peak efficiency. When you wake up the next day and you find yourself with cloudy thinking, the brain hasn't had the time to process through all of the stimulus that it received during the day. And as a result of that, you walk through the next day in a fog. Here's a tip to help you with that. Turn off your smartphone and your tablet at least 2 hours before you go to bed. Sleep in a clutter-free room, and you're going to awaken more refreshed and ready to start your day. Now, it's also important for you to find your driver. Now, what do I mean by your driver? Your internal motivator, that internal driving factor that keeps you moving towards your desired goal or objective, no matter what. An accountability buddy is great, but that's an external motivator. An external motivation from other people can only push you so far. At some point, you've got to go inside yourself and you've got to find and fuel that internal fire within, that burning desire, that driver that's going to help you achieve your goals, your dreams, and your objectives no matter what. If you can't find and fuel that internal fire, you're never going to ultimately achieve your goals, your dreams, and your objectives. You're never going to have the opportunity to rise to your full potential. Your driver is your why. It is your purpose. It is your passion behind achieving that big goal or objective. It's question 2 of the 3 questions I posed early on in this podcast. What is your big goal for the year? And then your why question, why is this goal important to you? That is your driver. And then number 3 was, when do you want to achieve it? Now, again, I want to stress, you are what you eat. The science of nutrition has dramatically advanced over the past few years, and we now understand which foods best benefit us and which foods do the most harm to us. We know which foods amplify inflammation in our bodies, which ones affect our insulin levels, and which foods we can eat that can reduce inflammation and help us manage our energy levels and our sugar levels. So, whether weight loss is one of your goals or not, here's what I can tell you. Rising to your full potential requires that you live a healthy lifestyle. That's going to require a minimal amount of exercise, taking care of when we eat, what we eat, and how often we eat. It requires that we stay hydrated and that we get plenty of rest. There is a process to improve your health and wellness. And if you want to know more on that, reach out and we'll be happy to share details of that with you, as well as some of the other things that we teach, train, and coach on here at Black Belt Leadership. Now, also important, and I talk about this a lot, celebrating the wins along the way. It's what my friend Bobby did on his 100-pound weight loss journey. Why did he celebrate every 2-pound loss? Because he understands this: what gets rewarded gets repeated. When you and I celebrate a win, our brain releases those feel-good chemicals, dopamine and other chemicals that tells our body, hey, this is great. Let's go do it again. Celebrating the wins reinforces the fact that you and I are making progress towards our big goal, and that's going to keep us motivated. That's going to keep us moving forward. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a big win. Take yourself to lunch, treat yourself to a movie, take a walk in the woods, do something you enjoy. Maybe it's play around a golf, maybe it's go swimming, maybe it's read a book, maybe it's petting your dog. Remember, what gets rewarded gets repeated. So celebrate the micro wins, and guess what? You're going to experience more of them. And as you do that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to feel a renewed sense of excitement. Why? You're making progress, and you're going to realize and visually see you getting closer to your goals. Now, excitement is the opposite of overwhelm. And the more you feel excited about every single day, the less any day is going to overwhelm you. So the more excitement you experience as you celebrate your wins, the more you're going to be motivated, encouraged, and inspired to keep going. And maybe, just maybe, you might even strive for a bigger stretch goal than you set for yourself in the process. And don't forget, there are 10 steps to becoming a black belt master of who you are and what you do. You've got to, number one, you've got to believe in yourself, and you got to believe in your calling. You got to believe that you are worthy of achieving the goal and you have what it needs to make that goal a reality in your life. Then you've got to learn what is required to make that goal into its physical representation in the earth. We've talked about being accountable to yourself and having an accountability buddy to encourage and motivate you and be a sounding board for your success. You've got to communicate with yourself and others around you that you may need to support you what you need to achieve your goal, your dream, or your objective for this year. And then you've got to be kinetic. That means you've got to take action. The best laid plans of mice and men are nothing more than a dream until you put action behind your goals. That's going to require boldness. It's going to require you doing something outside of your comfort zone to get into that uncomfortable place where growth happens, because it's there that you become a better version of who you are and what you do as you discover that you are capable of saying, doing, and becoming so much more. Now, you've also got to continue to equip yourself for the journey as you go and continually re-equip yourself as you get from one goal to the next to the next. It's going to require that you keep reinventing and equipping yourself and maintaining loyalty to yourself and your vision for reaching your full potential. And if you do those things, you're going to transform yourself again and again and again, daily becoming a better version of who you are and what you do as you're becoming a black belt leader in life. And with that, I want to say thank you for taking time to invest in yourself and to start down the path of becoming a new you in this new year. You know, I think C.S. Lewis said it well, and I think it's a great way to wrap up this podcast. He said this: you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And with that, I want to share a free resource to help you begin to refine and achieve your goals in 2025. If you go to my website, blackbeltleadership.com, go to the courses section of the website, and you're going to find a resource there that says Goal Worksheet. That goal worksheet is a free resource. It's a little one-page download that you can access that will help you set up your goals for the year. It will take you through a short step-by-step process to achieve your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions for the coming year. And I give you that gift with my compliments and my wishes for your continued success in 2025. And by the way, if you're not following me on social media, let me encourage you to do so. I'm on multiple platforms. Monday through Friday of each week, I'm sharing tips, tools, and resources to help you become a better version of who you are and what you do. My podcast is available on multiple podcast channels. I have a weekly newsletter that goes out on LinkedIn and Substack, and you'll find videos on YouTube, Rumble, and now I'm also on Play TV, which is Parler's new social media channel. And with that, let me remind you of this. Anybody and everybody can be a leader, but don't just be a leader, be a black belt leader and live your life with black belt excellence. I'm Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me. And here is to a successful 2025 for you and yours as you strive to become the very best version of yourself that you can become. I wish you every good success in this coming year. And if you need any help or resources, please reach out and let us know. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.